And welcome back, everyone, to the week of What If. Second What If for the week. This comes to us from Newborn Viking. I'm pretty sure someone else had given me the suggestion, but I couldn't find it. So if you did, let me know, and I'll give my due diligence. But the question is simple. What if Knull, the symbiote god from the Marvel Universe, was in fact real? And there are two answers to this question. Neither of them are good. But before that, we need to kind of grasp who Knull is, what Knull can do, and why Knull is so dangerous. Knull, as I just said, is the progenitor of the symbiote race in the Marvel Universe. He was essentially brought into being before the universe really kind of got going. He came from the eldritch primordial darkness that existed prior to the universe being birthed. And he liked it. He's like, this is my home. This is great. Awesome. And he would go around spreading more darkness. But then the first lights came. Stars, celestials. And they started spreading the light all over the place. And he did not like this. So he formed a sword from his shadow. Turned it into the Necro Sword. All black the Necro Sword. There it is. And went around killing celestials for a good while. Until eventually the splintered species that came off him, the symbiotes, trapped him on Clintar, their planet Clintar. Now, Clintar isn't a name for planet; it's the symbiote word for prison. And they were just keeping him there until he eventually broke free and started wreaking havoc, leading to the King in Black storyline, where he invaded the Earth, ripped Sentry to shreds, just encased the Earth, blocking out the sun. And ultimately, Eddie Brock had to get a serious amp just to be able to beat his ass. He is a cosmic level threat to the umpteenth degree. I would love, however the medium be it Sony or actual MCU, I'd love to see this character brought to the big screen because he is truly a threatening, menacing character. And an awesome character, too. But this still now leads us into the what if. What if he was real? And like I said, there are two answers to this question. Because if he was real, we have to at minimum assume that symbiotes exist in the reality as well. In our world. Our reality, if you will. Because he's the father and progenitor of symbiotes. Now, there's two ways to look at that. Is it just Knull and the symbiotes? Because if it's just Knull and the symbiotes, then the sad truth about this what if is we are not going to exist. He would snuff us out before we were even a thought in the primordial ooze. So yeah, if he was real, the real reality is no life would really exist because there'd be nothing to contest him. The Celestials wouldn't be there. We're all effed. However, let's say for the sake of argument that Knull is real and the Celestials are also real and they were able to keep him in check. Or the symbiotes ultimately themselves were able to keep him in check. So this now turns into now what if Knull was real and symbiotes were real? Because eventually symbiotes would probably find their way to Earth, start bonding with people, and start wreaking havoc. Some may do good, some may do bad. Symbiotes would spawn new cultures and religions. The idea of these creatures possessing people, killing people, eating people would be horrifying and frightening. But they really wouldn't overtake us unless they started to multiply in force, which they wouldn't do unless they were coming in here in force. Because when we really break it down, one or two, maybe 5 symbiotes could not take over the world. We have too much weaponry on this planet that could affect them. Sonic-based weaponry, which was a weakness. Fire-based weaponry, which is a weakness. Just nuke their asses and they're done. So there's too much weaponry in this world for symbiotes to actually take us over, unless they came in like an invasion force, which generally speaking they wouldn't, unless being brought over by their lord. Now, the ultimate question just becomes what happens when Knull gets released. Eventually he gets released. Because the Celestials aren't going to pay us any never mind either. Normally. So eventually he would be released and just kind of start going on his conquest again of we're spreading the darkness back to the universe. This would lead him eventually to Earth. And like so many these kind of what-ifs, they would see this dark deity, religions would form, and instead being worshipped as a god. He would very much enjoy this, and he might spare Earth because there's nothing we have on the god's green planet that could take him out. You fire every nuke we have at him, and he's gonna just kind of brush it off. I mean, if they hit him, he might actually be hurt, but he can easily regenerate. And he's actually not, you can't kill him. He existed before the concept of life and death actually began, so he has what's known as immortality. Even if you were to say destroy his entire body, his spirit still lingers and eventually would come back. Although right now that's not possible for him. So, yeah, if Knull existed, eventually he might get bored of us. Maybe he would just have the symbiotes eventually take us all over and then go about his day. Universe, or day, millennium, whatever. Point being, in either scenario, if Knull exists and there's no stopgap, nothing to keep him in check, we are effed as a species. We are effed as an entire race on this little blue ball. So, yeah, if Knull existed, not going to look good for us. Unfortunately, he doesn't. So, that's just my thoughts, though. What do you think about what would it be like if Knull himself actually existed? Keep in mind, we are only asking about Knull. Now, because Knull is the father of symbiotes, it would make sense that symbiotes also existed. But what do you think would be the reality if Knull actually did exist? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.